नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, shloka 4. Nishchayam shृणु मे तत्र त्यागे भरतसत्तमा त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः। Tyaga, giving up, renunciation is an integral part of spiritual pursuit. त्यागे नैके अमृतत्वमानशुः. There is no moksha without tyaga. One cannot get moksha without tyaga. What kind of tyaga? What kind of tyaga should one practice? About this, there are two views. We saw the two views in shloka 3. According to some people, all karmas should be given up. Tyajyam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha. All karma should be given up, including the vihita karmas, the karmas that are enjoined in the Shastra. This is one view. Then there is another view, second view. The vihita karmas, karmas that are enjoined in the Shastra, should not be given up. Yajna, dana and tapas. Yajna, dana and tapas should not be given up. This is another view. When there are two views, and we hear two views, there is a doubt, a samshaya. Which one is correct? Some people say this is correct. Some people say that is correct. Which one is correct? there is a samshaya. When there is a samshaya, someone has to give a conclusion. A nishchaya, a conclusion. Who will give the conclusion? Bhagavan himself gives the conclusion. Nishchayam shranu tatra tyage bharata sattama. Bhagavan says, I will give you the nishchaya. I will give you the conclusion. Which view is correct? He Bharata Sattama. Bhagavan is addressing Arjuna. O Bharata Sattama. It is one of the titles of Arjuna. One of the descriptions of Arjuna. Bharatanam Sattama. Greatest among the descendants of Bharata. Among all the descendants of Bharata, Arjuna is the greatest. That is why Krishna is giving Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna only. Even to receive the Upadesha, one should be deserving. And being the best among the descendants of Bharata, Arjuna deserved the Upadesha. He Bharata Sattama, Tatra Tyagi. About the Tyaga, there are two views. Therefore, there is a samshaya, there is a doubt which view is correct. I will give you the nishchaya. Nishchayam me shranu. The nishchaya, the conclusion, the final truth. Me shranu. Please listen from me. I will tell you in the following shlokas. In shloka 5 and 6, Bhagavan will say which view is correct. As I have indicated earlier, Bhagavan will vote for the second view, not the first view. Then, to understand what kind of tyaga one should do, Bhagavan will classify tyaga into 3 types, namely Sattvika, Rajasa and Tamasa. Sattvika tyaga, Rajasa tyaga and Tamasa tyaga. Bhagavan will tell this from shloka 7 onwards. Shloka 7, 8 and 9. In shloka 5 and 6, Bhagavan will give you the nishchaya, which is the correct view. And to understand the correct view properly, you need to understand what is the right type of tyaga. What kind of tyaga is proper. And to understand that, Bhagavan will classify tyaga into 3 types. It will come from shloka 7 to 9. Tyago hi purusha vyaghra trividha samprakirtitaha. He purusha vyaghra. Another title for Arjuna. Another description of Arjuna. He Purusha Vyaghra. O tiger among human beings. Arjuna is like a tiger. Tiger among human beings. It doesn't mean he is really a tiger. Tiger implies bravery, courage. Arjuna is very brave like a tiger. The bravest of all people. If you look into the story of Mahabharata, on many occasions, Arjuna fought alone. Even before Mahabharata war, Arjuna had already defeated the Kauravas. Even before Mahabharata war. The story is there in Virata Parva. Arjuna was alone and Uttara Kumara was his Sarathi. And entire Kaurava force comes to take away the cows of Virata. And Arjuna faces the entire army all alone. That was the bravery of Arjuna. Therefore, Kauravas are already defeated once. Purusha Vyaghra. Arjuna is a Purusha Vyaghra. A tiger among human beings. Tyago hi trividha samprakirtitaha. Tyaga is trividhaha. Trividhaha samprakirtitaha. It is stated as 3 types in the tradition. Satvika, Rajasa and Tamasa. Bhagavan will explain the 3 types of Tyaga later on. Now in shlokas 5 and 6, Bhagavan upholds the second view among the 2 views. Yajna dana tapah karma natyajyam karyameva tat yajno danam tapaschaiva पावनानि मनीषिणाम्. Among the two views, Bhagavan votes for view 2. Yajnadana tapah karma natyajyam. Yajna, dana and tapas. These three karmas, they are enjoined in the Shastra. They are vihita karmas. The karmas that are enjoined in the Shastra. Natyajyam. One should not give up. Then what should one do? Karyameva tat. These three karmas should be performed. Karyameva. They should be performed. Why they are karya? Because they are niyata karma. We have something called niyata karma. The vihita karma, in fact, all karmas, all actions can be broadly classified into two. Number one, vihita karma. Number two, nishiddha karma. Vihita karma and nishiddha karma. Vihita karma means karmas enjoined in the Shastra. If the Shastra says, do this karma, it is called vihita karma. On the other hand, if the Shastra says, don't do this karma, it is called nishiddha karma. Karma that is prohibited in the Shastra. So there is vihita karma and nishiddha karma. Nishiddha karma, anyway, one is not supposed to do. Because if you do nishiddha karma, you will get papa. So vihita karma, one is supposed to do. Among the vihita karma also, there can be two classifications. Two types of nihita karma, two types of vihita karma. The first one is kamya karma. Kamya karma means a karma performed to accomplish a desire. For example, someone wants wealth. I want to become rich. I can perform a kamya karma. A simple kamya karma is in the form of chanting Kanakadhara Stotra. There is a stotra called Kanakadhara Stotra. If you chant it regularly for a few days, you will get money. I am giving you the secret. It is a kamya karma. I want money. With that sankalpa, I chant Kanakadhara Stotra. Angam Haref Pulaka Bhushanam Ashrayanti, etc. Then there is another form of karma called Niyata karma. Kamya karma and Niyata karma. These are two divisions of Vihita karma. What is Niyata karma? It is a karma enjoined in the Shastra, but not for any particular desire, not for fulfilling any particular desire. Instead, if you are a human being, you have to perform those karmas. They are called obligatory karmas. Whether you like it or not, you have to perform it. It is your duty. You don't have choice over it. For example, see, it is like some of our duties as the citizen of India. If you are a citizen of this country, you have some obligations as a citizen of this country. For example, if you are earning money in this country, you have to pay income tax. It is not your choice. It is your duty. You are obliged to pay income tax, provided your income is beyond a given limit. Similarly, the Shastra also enjoins certain obligatory karmas. If you are a human being, if you are living on this earth, you have to perform certain karmas, certain yajna, certain rituals, certain dana, and some forms of tapas you have to perform. And what kind of yajna should perform, what kind of dana one should perform, it may vary from person to person, based on his varna, based on his ashrama, it will vary. Based on the station of your life, it will vary. The particularities of the karma will vary from person to person. But in general, everyone has to perform the Vihita karma. Vihita karma, among the Vihita karma, Niyata karma, which is in the form of yajna, dana, and tapas. Therefore, Krishna says, Karyameva tat, it should be performed. It is like paying income tax. What will happen if I don't perform? You will get penalized, you will get some penalty in the form of pratyavaya. If you do not perform the niyata karma, you will get a special type of papa called pratyavaya. Akarane pratyavaya. That is one reason why one should perform niyata karma. To avoid the papa of not performing it. That is one reason. And Krishna gives another reason also why it should be performed. These niyata karmas are means for chitta shuddhi. They purify the mind. Second line. Yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Yajna, dana and tapas. They are manishinam pavanani. Pavanani. They purify. They bring about chitta shuddhi. Manishinam, for human beings. It is for manishi. Every manishi has to do this karma. Every human being has to do this karma. Not for other beings. A dog doesn't have to do niyata karma. It doesn't have karmani adhikara. A dog doesn't have adhikara in doing karma. It is not eligible. It cannot do karma. So, Krishna is addressing all the human beings. Manishina. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is universal. Every human being is addressed. Every manishi is addressed. Yajnodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishina. So there are two reasons why one should perform niyata karma. Number one, to avoid pratyavaya, which is indicated by saying karyameva tat. It should be performed. Otherwise, you will get pratyavaya. And reason number two, they are pavanani. They purify the mind. Etanyapi tu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavyani me partha nishchitam matamuttamam. If yajna etc. have to be performed, then where is the place for tyaga? Where is the place for renunciation? Where is the place for giving up? Bhagavan says, even the performance of yajna etc. should be done with two types of tyaga. Even when you perform the niyata karma, you should practice two types of tyaga. What are the two types of tyaga? Sangatyaga and phalatyaga. Sangatyaga and phalatyaga. The performance of niyata karma should be accompanied by these two types of tyaga. The first one is sangatyaga. What is sangha? Sangha literally means attachment. In this context, Madhusudana Saraswati explains sangha as कर्तृत्व अभिनिवेशः. संगः कर्तृत्व अभिनिवेशः. It means pride in doership. Pride in doership is called sangha. When we do a yajna or anything, there is a possibility of pride. I am doing a good work. I am doing a great work. There is pride. And this pride does not go away easily. This person may be doing a very great work, but there is pride. I am donating this much money. It should be put there on the board. There is sangha. Pride. I have done this. Recently, I read a story in the Sanskrit magazine called Sambhashana Sandesha. I don't know how many of you read that. There was a very interesting story. There was a retired IAS officer. He was a very high accomplished person, highly educated. He was in very high government service. Retired IAS officer. This person was a devotee of an ashram. A big ashrama. And in the ashram, there was some function held. Some big function was held in the ashram. Then they needed volunteers. So this gentleman, IAS officer, retired, volunteered for a service. And he said, I will do my service in the chappal stand. So the IAS officer stood on the chappal stand because many people, many devotees will come and someone has to guard the chappals, take the chappal, give token, then receive the token, give the chappal back. This was the service he was doing. It's a great thing, great service. Being an IAS officer, he is doing that kind of service. It is a great thing. So now what happened? As he was doing the service for a long time, some people who didn't know him, among many devotees, they thought he is a regular chappal person. They didn't know he is an IAS officer and he is doing this work. So someone, as a habit, when a chappal stand person is there, when you receive the chappal back, you sometimes give money. In some places it is voluntary. In some places they will charge. So this devotee thought he is a regular chappal person. So he gave 10 rupees. 10 rupees to this retired IAS officer. Then what happened? This IAS officer got angry and he shouted, "What do you think? I am a retired IAS officer and you are giving me 10 rupees. What is this? This is the pride of doership. He has not given up the pride of being a retired IAS officer. That is one pride. And another pride is, in spite of being an IAS officer, I am doing this service. That is another pride. In spite of being an IAS officer, I am doing this service, this small service, and it should be appreciated. Oh, see, he is an IAS officer, still he is doing this small work. See how humble he is. Someone will appreciate me for my humility. That was another kartrutva abhiman. And this person didn't appreciate because he didn't know. Instead, he gave 10 rupees, thinking he is a poor person. Then he got angry. The same person writes, the person himself wrote this story. After shouting, he realized, oh, I have made a mistake. Because my kartrutva, that my pride was still there. Then he writes, I shouldn't have shouted. Either I should have politely refused it, no, I don't need money. Or I should have taken the money silently, quietly, and put it into the hundi. He could have done that. So this is kartrutva abhinivesha. I am great. I am doing a great work. It doesn't go easily. Then how to remove it? How to accomplish sangatyaga? The best way for sangatyaga is to have the attitude of dasa, dasya bhava, attitude of dasa. I am Ishvara's servant. I am Ishvara's dasa, Bhagavan's dasa, Bhagavan dasa. There is one Bhagavan Das here. So Bhagavan Dasa is the best attitude. Suppose this IAS officer, he had just kept his IAS and everything away, and he has just said, I am doing this as Ishvara's Dasa. Then he wouldn't have shouted at the other person. So dasya bhava is very important. That removes the sangha. I am doing the work as Bhagavan's dasa. Dasanagu. We have a song in Kannada. Dasanagu, Savisheshanagu. You can Google it out and listen in YouTube. It is there in YouTube. Now everything is available in YouTube. Dasanagu. Become dasa. That is the way for sangatyaga. So sangatyagaha. Giving up of karma is easy. I will not do anything. That is easy. The first kind of tyaga is very easy. But this tyaga is not so easy. Sangatyaga. And phalatyaga. Second tyaga is phalatyaga. What is phalatyaga? We will see in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.